Good day, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm B. This is my channel, Life According to B. So today I'm going to talk to you about exactly how a certificate of deposit works, otherwise known as a CD for short. We're going to go over what kind of CDs are out there on the market. We're going to talk about terms, yields, downsides, upsides, and we're also going to talk about what kind of personal situation you might be in to select one CD or another. So as most of you know, if you're tuning into this video, or maybe you don't know yet because this is your first experience with CDs and you're just doing a little research, the CD, or the certificate of deposit, is absolutely the highest yielding, 100% safe investment option a bank will offer. They remain safe because most of them, up to $250,000, are FDIC insured, or if you go through a credit union, NCUA insured. Okay, so we're going to talk about the two most wildly different CDs on the market. You either have a liquid CD, which generally comes with no penalties, or no penalties if you maintain their withdrawal guidelines, or you have locked-in CDs. So the beautiful thing about a liquid CD is it is almost just a high-yielding savings account. You can put all of your money in it, and then you can withdraw it, depending on the terms, at any time. Sometimes you will have terms such as you can't withdraw more than 50% within a month, you can't withdraw more than 10% within a month. Whatever those terms are, just do your research with your banking institution to find out what their stipulations on their CDs are. The second kind I talked about is a locked-in CD. For this kind of CD, you would place your money into their certificate of deposit and the bank would pay you dividends on your amount. The downside to this kind of CD is your money is almost always locked into your account. If you need to withdraw the money before the end of term, you may pay penalties, or you'll be able to withdraw all your money, but you will forfeit all dividends gained thus far. So the two subcategories of a liquid CD are a bump-up CD or a step-up CD. A bump-up CD would be a certificate of deposit that you place your money into for your banking institution, and then down the line, if they happen to offer a higher rate, you can request a bump up. They'll take your money from that CD, open you up a new CD, and move your money into the new one. Now this is great, but you do not get unlimited bump ups in most of these situations. They may be one per year, one in your entire term, so if you sign a 5-year term, you might only get one in that whole term. The other kind of subcategory of a liquid CD I see, but not very commonly, is a step-up CD. This is an agreement you have with your banking institution when you place the money in, and then as time goes on, every 6 months, every quarter, every year, whatever the term may be, your rate will increase. So it might go from 2.1% to 2.2%, whatever that may be. I don't see a lot of them out there on the market. They're not a very common thing. But if your bank offers one, or you see one advertised out there on the market, leave a link in the comments so I can check it out. Another uncommon CD that most viewers will never have to deal with is a brokered CD. Now this is a CD that you go to your banking institution, you tell them, I want you to basically manage this amount of money. They will go out and place your money in separate CDs with separate financial institutions. You would most likely use one of these CDs when you exceed the $250,000 FDIC NCUA insurance to make sure you're covered. Another kind of CD that most of you will never have to deal with, because if you have this amount of money, you should probably take it and move it into real estate or the market, is a jumbo CD. Now these CDs are almost exactly as the name suggests. It's a large CD, a jumbo CD. These are certificates of deposit over $100,000. Generally, from any banking institution, once you exceed that $100,000 limit, they will give you very prime rates. Now, one of the biggest pros of a CD is the money is insured. Like a savings account, your money would be insured up to $250,000 through FDIC or NCUA insurance. Now let's talk about term. Most banking institutions will offer 8 options for term. Generally, with most banking institutions, the longer the term you sign, the higher APR you will receive. The only downside I see to a long-term CD is if you don't have the financial means to guarantee you won't need to touch that money, during a 5-7 year term, then you may be better doing a ladder system. Now I'd like to give a few examples so you can apply your personal needs to the CD market. I love CDs. It's one of my favorite ways to invest. There is no risk of losing your money. It is low yielding, but if you get a good enough rate, you can make some solid returns. Currently I have 3 CDs. One of them sitting at 3%, one of them sitting at 3.25%, and one of them sitting at 3.5%. Now these CD rates are high compared to the national averages. If you are like me and have access to this higher CD pool, I'm going to make another video about that. Specific financial institution. Hopefully you're able to watch that video about how you can earn some higher yielding CDs. So, say you're 18 years old, you have $1,000 in your savings account, and you make enough money to maintain your life. Maybe you're living at home with mom and dad, all you have to pay is your phone bill, gas bill, and insurance. But you want your $1,000 to grow at a higher rate. I would recommend you move that to a high yield savings account. Ally has savings account. They usually offer 2.1, 2.25%. Now I say this because generally when you're 18 years old, you may be wanting to move out of the house, you may be needing to buy a car for college, you may be needing to pay for textbooks. Taking your money and putting it in a liquid CD account where you can draw the money back out at any moment might not be the best idea. With a savings account, you can take your money out at any time. Generally, most financial institutions have a 6 transaction limit when withdrawing money from your savings to your checking. But if you put your money in a liquid CD, generally you will earn less than a high yield savings account. I say this because the highest yielding no penalty CD I see on the market currently is with Ally Bank. If you go with their no minimum CD, you're only going to be earning 1.8%. The 3 ways to generally get a higher yielding CD is to either use one of their introductory certificates that they're offering. Generally these will be capped out at $3,000 to $5,000. They'll be for a shorter term, 6 to 12 months, but they will usually offer 3.5, 3.75 at the high end. The second way is to increase the money deposited into your certificate. Generally once you go over 5,000, 10,000, 25, 50, 75, 100 or higher, you will earn higher amounts of APRs. And the third way is just to sign a longer term. Now say you're a little bit older, maybe 26 years old, and you're looking to buy a house in 2 years. Let's say you have $100,000 in the bank, and you have nowhere to put it until you use it for the down payment on your house. In this instance, even if you have your money in a high yielding savings account, you might only be earning 2%, 2.125%. If you are a person in this instance, you would almost always be better off putting it in a certificate account with one of the higher yielding banks. If you're personally in a different situation than one of the other 2 that I mentioned, leave a comment down below with your situation and I'll try and give you some advice on what kind of CD you should open. One thing you can know for certain is as rates on mortgages stay low like they are right now, the rates on CDs will not go up. Generally, they use the money that people put in those certificates as a safe leverage to extend people mortgages. The bank will never offer you a higher rate of return for your certificate than they are going to earn on their return from the mortgages they extend. That being said, if you have the money, if you have a large lump sum of money, $100,000, $200,000, real estate might be the path for you. You could leverage your money and you could get a mortgage for close to the same rate that you might be earning on a certificate. That about wraps it up for the advice I have on certificates and how they work. If you'd like to check out some of my other videos, that would be greatly appreciated. As always, if you could like, comment, subscribe, and get notified, that would also be greatly appreciated.